life real estate investing show where we talk about real life real estate situations, where we bring you real life real estate solutions. And I have with me my guest, none other than my brother, Mr. Ramon Tookes himself. This has been something that I was going through the archives. I was going through the archives of this show, and I realized that you were the second person, only second, probably because you weren't available for the first show, but you were the second person to ever come on this show some three and a half, I want to say about almost 3 years ago. And
we did it in the field, remember?
Yes. We met out at one of the properties that you were working on. We were, our second show, I think we were having bad internet connection then. But listen, man, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for making the time. I know you're making moves all over the place. But I definitely want to say thank you and definitely pay homage to your success and the major moves that you're making in this business, man. And I'm only honored that when I show up places and people say Ramon, I say, yeah, that's me. It's funny how often people get us mixed up, man. So definitely thank you again, man. So
to me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You broke up.
Lighter than me.
We got a bad connection. I think you said I'm a lot smarter than you. Mm-hmm. If you said that, then I'm gonna go with that. But but everybody know better than that, though.
Let me do this. Let me.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna go out.
You probably have to move to a different section in your mansion. You might have to move. You might have to go to the west wing because the east wing got a bad connection.
Got a problem. Am I better now? Is it better now?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yes. Much better connection now. Yeah.
Good.
So when you got to go to the, you probably had to get on that cart to ride to the other side of the house.
No, I got too many kids in the house. That's the problem. I only have a certain amount of space I have because they all here.
Okay. Listen, man. Hey, listen. I know folks are just excited as I am to have you on the show today, man. This has been, again, one of those shows that I often say that's been long overdue. I think we had you on. You've been on a couple times, but as I was saying earlier, to the folks that are just joining us that may not have known that you were actually the second guest that I ever had on this show, some almost 3 years ago.
Wow,
only second to Keto Johnson. I think Keto was the first guest that I had on the show because he had an event coming up. And I think you might have been stuck in the bank, in the vault at the bank, counting all your money, so you didn't have time to come on the show.
I hope so. I hope that was the case.
Right. Listen, man, it's definitely an honor to have you on. And I know, folks are going to be blown away by the stuff that you're going to share with us today. I have my notepad here. When you say something, I'm gonna have to take a break in the show to write it down. So forgive me if there's a pause. But I just want to give the folks, for the one or two people that may watch this who may not know who Ramon Tookes is, I want you to tell the folks a little bit about yourself. Where you're from. We'll get into all of those questions, but I want to say first of all that you have definitely been a mentor of mine. You have been my beacon of light, in situations where I know I get lost. I'm like, what will Ramon do? And certain things that I get lost in. And so I wanted to say thank you for being who you are and paving the way and blazing the trail as you always do for those of us that, definitely look up to you and pay attention to what you got going on. So like I said, for the one or two people that are watching that may not know who you are, give the folks a little bit of information about your background and who you are and what you got going on.
thank you for being such an amazing brother. I every we don't get a chance to hang out
Yes.
like I would. Man, I appreciate you and being consistent. The key is, man, this show has been consistent, and you have filled the void, man, and that's what we're here for. I can tell you, man, I would never do if I can help it. I would never do anything at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. But again, y'all, and I'm outside, so I apologize for the wind, but I got some clear. My reception is working. But listen, I am I'm a native Atlantan and headed into year 25. My career, this has been in all the backgrounds, and I have a law degree. I went to school for criminal justice, so all the college stuff, everything that you can imagine. Real estate has been my first love, Glenn, and I started off at 19 bird dogging, and we have evolved, man. We have evolved to be able to do fix and flip, buy and hold, and now we're in the education arena. So, man, just always thankful that God has allowed us to grow, continue to grow, and given us an opportunity to do what we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, 19. Bro, I can't even tell you. I can tell you what I was doing at 19. But a lot of folks probably wouldn't even imagine.
We all were doing it, man. Don't worry. Everybody, we were all doing it. I was running around a college campus, but I was grown at 19, though, Glenn. I was already, I've been grown since I was like 6, 5.
Right. Hey, listen, but you had a mind to have your arrow in the right direction, man. At 19, bro. I was doing so many crazy things. Owning anything or buying real estate was probably the last thing on my mind, So definitely salute to you in that area again, man, for for even folks that are watching this that are probably 19 now or in that area, know that it's possible to not only get involved in this business at 19, but be sustained, and sustain themselves and definitely become a major player in the business, like yourself. So we had Sterling Anderson said, what's up, fellas? So shout out to Sterling for joining us today.
So Glenn, when I finished law school in 2003,
mm-hmm.
Man, we were already making so much money, man. We were so busy. And so I never did take the bar exam. I never went back and did anything with it. And then, life happened, 2008. So we went survival mode. I just never did it, man. And I promised myself this year, some of the things that I did not do, I'm going back and get it. So I am going to, in the next, couple of years, I'm going to take, and we got a deadline, going to take the bar. Because that's something I can do closings if I'm 70 years old. I can I can create jobs. If I am the main closing attorney and get title insurance. So I wanna live out my dream. I did let life kind of jump in the way. I love real estate, but that one-stop shop was something that, man, when I tell you we were on the verge of having every piece of it, and then just things happen.
Man, listen, you are on the verge of being a true one-stop shop. I think having the get passing the bar might be the last thing you got to do, man. Because
it is. It is.
Listen, look. Hey, did you ever get the endorsement with Crocs yet? Because I was gonna say if you got that, dude, I know you got.
No. We got an issue with Croc, man. We gonna meet with them after this pandemic is over.
Okay.
I got $100,000. I got $100,000 in Crocs, man. They still didn't endorse me. I got a problem with
that. Hey, you pull that off, brother. That's gonna definitely be major. So you got first of all, you doing real estate. That's the one thing that people really miss and what's going on. You doing real estate.
Yes.
You teaching real estate. University of Wealth Building.
Yes.
Flipology. Now in construction.
Yes.
Am I missing anything? Where's the Ramon Tookes burger at McDonald's?
No. It's really, Glenn, it's all thing real estate for the most part, right?
Yes.
And University of Wealth Building is our online platform. Mm-hmm. It's still about building wealth, and real estate is one of the key components. For me, I'm only on University of Wealth Building teaching different real estate principles, but I also understand that to truly build wealth, it takes the whole dynamic from insurance to mindset to being mentally strong, to being spiritually strong, our health, the whole nine. And so it's a true online university that has all of those components. Real estate is just a small piece of it. And so even though people don't know because we haven't pushed it as hard, University of Wealth Building, actually Flipology is a part of University of Wealth Building. And a lot of people get it the other way around. And it was created after Flipology, but Flipology is just a course. And you
Right.
know, it's several different courses in Flipology, from the boot camp to the wholesaling, you know, to commercial wholesaling. And so University of Wealth Building is our baby. You know, I do real estate. I released this week that we will finally be doing projects for other folks, and I have always been hesitant about that just
Mm-hmm.
because of the timing, Glenn.
Right.
But we
Right.
are opening up all books to folks, and it's needed. You know what I mean? From our contractors to our architects to our interior designers, the whole nine. When you come to us, again, one-stop shop. You can walk in the door with an idea. We can get you funded. We can take care of your
Mm-hmm.
project. We can get you closed out. And so it's just this thing. The past 6 weeks has allowed me to open up a little bit, get my mind clear, and I know
Yes.
what we're supposed to
Yes.
be doing.
Yes. Great stuff, man. And listen, it's, if anybody knows anything about this business of real estate or any business, but specifically real estate itself, there's so many different moving parts in what we do, as investors, as educators, as, and all the things, funding and all these other things that you got going on. It's something to amass and become skillful in one of those areas. As the old saying going, Matt, what's the jack of all trades,
Jack of
master
all
none.
trades, master none, or whatever it
Right.
is. Yeah.
But you're a true example of mastering every single one of those areas.
I don't
And
know about that, Glenn.
what?
I'm gonna say, you know what? I think I'm a master of, and I won't say master. I don't like the word master. That doesn't do well in my house.
Okay.
But I think I'm pretty good at connecting folks with the right
Yeah.
resources. So being a
Yeah.
connector.
Hmm.
What I think my fastball will be, if you had to talk about it, is truly construction.
Got it.
And because everything else is based around that.
Right.
Finding funding, I refer that stuff out.
Hmm.
Finding deals. I don't tell people I'm the best wholesaler, so I surround myself with great wholesalers. I invite wholesalers to the things that we do. So it's
Hmm.
just being, as far as what am I great at is creating environments where we can all thrive. And that's what
Definitely.
I continue to work on, because if all of us are thriving, or not all, if most of us are thriving, or as many as possible, then
Hmm.
we will be okay.
Definitely, definitely. Well, and that's what I was alluding to, because you do make major connections, and even from a just making connection standpoint, that does kind of make you a master in all those different areas,
All right.
because even having I'll change the word master. It makes you great in all those areas.
I start sweating when you say master. No,
I
I'm
know,
joking.
right? I know. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. But just even being able to put those types of components together, I mean, it's one thing, and I guess I'll use it in this way. Is one thing to scramble an egg, but it's another thing to know what seasoning and what ingredients that goes in that and making that egg sandwich or whatever it turns into great. So and that's what I believe I could see you as somebody who can put all those pieces. I mean, deal makers, and we'll talk about that. Deal makers alone is something that you put together that has amassed many, from people from an educational standpoint, people from a deal analysis standpoint, just
Yes.
helping people understand how to connect all of those dots. Just that one event alone that you took on, what is like 3 or 4 some odd years ago.
Yes,
Um,
you know what, I think it's been 5 years now. I think this is going into year 5, because
right.
we started at Pascal's.
Yes. Yes.
And then, we kind of outgrew it, kind of got pushed out. And
Hmm.
then we went around to Old Lady Gang for a week and a half.
Hmm.
And then, they didn't treat us right. And then we ended up at Johnny's Pizza. And then, we've been at Mellow Mushroom now for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And now I can say this, Glenn, about deal makers. It has, because of what's happened the past 6 weeks, it has turned into what we want it to turn into, which means everybody at one time from all over the country can get on, analyze deals, talk about their resources, talk about what they're looking for, and we close out deals. Because um, prior to March 14th, which was the weekend of Flipology, the following weekend we were going out to Milwaukee and start another Deal Makers. And so we had been starting Deal Makers in different cities. So, Birmingham, Macon, Sabrina Battle down in Macon, Alyssa Flowers out in Milwaukee, Bryant Miller, who is a phenomenal real estate entrepreneur, is doing the South Side. So, in my mind, I wanted to start these events in every city that we could because of what happens at Deal Makers. This environment right now over the past 6 weeks, man, it's been like ultimate. We don't have to leave our house. We can learn about deals. We can analyze deals. We can meet folks from all over the country. We can get resources from all over the country in an hour and a half. And it's like, man, I'm not thankful for the pandemic, but I'm thankful for the time that we've had over the past 6 weeks to be able to change how we're doing business.
Yes, yes. And it's actually kind of bittersweet in the sense, come on, camera. Why would this act up right now? All right, gotta get this on again.
I swear it ain't me this time, Glenn. It ain't me this time.
That's me. That's me. My camera. Look, I'm trying something different here. It's showing that I need to stick to what I know.
You use that T word too, Mr. Wilson. Gonna give you a call today.
Look, I already know. I think I probably said it 2 or 3 times in here. So let me.
Yeah. I heard that, but I know he's somewhere listening. Believe me, he hears everybody.
I know that's right. He definitely is. He'll be giving me a call. Now I was saying that although this whole situation, pandemic and all these things that have been unfortunate in many areas, it has allowed us in many cases. I know even for me, to get some perspective, if you will. Most of the time we're, here and there and to and fro and doing so many different things. A lot of times that we look to get done, get caught up in the midst of everything. Yes. So I saw Deal Makers, when it says Deal Makers Global, I'm like, wow, that definitely is something that, is helping people from around the country get an idea, again, you making the connections from those people, even going back to the collaboration tour, that was something that you pulled off, man, that was absolutely amazing. And to be able to put all of those parts and elements together from each different city that you went to was something that, again, that was, I dare I use the word again, masterful.
I hear you.
I know I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get it.
Nah,
but I mean, I have to definitely applaud you for even making the effort to put something like that together and seeing it come into fruition and seeing it take off the way it did. And now Deal Makers Global, that's something that's absolutely amazing.
Yes, it is, man. I am so proud of it, and sometimes you sit back and like you said, man, over the past 6 weeks, we have had a chance to sit back and kind of reset. I feel mentally as good as I've felt since I've been an adult, because I've been running since I've been a kid, right? Nonstop. You know what I mean? I graduated from high school on my 18th birthday, June 10th, 1993. I started Georgia State University, June 17th, 1993. I did not stop until I graduated again. I guess it was 3 years later, and I have not stopped, man. All my life. And so these past 3 or 4 weeks, although we're not running. I'm not in different meetings. Mentally, man, I feel so amazing, man, and I know my creativity is probably on an all-time high. And I had to settle myself down because I started to get excited. And that's when you see me post about Tookes Development, building the companies that we have, being really focused on the relationship that we currently have. Yeah, we're gonna always get new relationships, but going deep instead of wide. And so I'm appreciative of this time, not of the things that are happening, but of the time I am, man. It's just all my kids are at home, man. Like my daughter was at college, Glenn, and I was having a fit. She was up there in DC, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to go up here this weekend. Like, and so the things that have happened over the past 4 weeks have been like, man, life changing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so, I mean, things are just great. Like I'm not, and we're always needing money. So that's just a part of it, right? Or wanting
Yeah.
money or needing, I don't know. But the rest of things that have happened, man, have been, I can truly say I appreciate it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's like for me, like you said, we're running, but now it's like we're running in place that gives us the ability to have that perspective.
Yep.
I mean, I'm like, you talk about being creative. I've had so many creative things. I'm like, man, wait a minute, I need to slow down on thinking about so many things at one time. Because having this time now gives you the ability to be able to produce those things that you looking at and doing. So I want to get into a couple questions, and because I know there's quite a bit that we got to cover, man, because your resume is extensive. But I want to get into some specific questions about kind of how you got your start. And I mean, tell the folks how you got your start. I know you said you started at 19. What was that first thought that intrigued you to even take the first step of getting involved in real estate?
So I have sort of been around real estate all my life. My grandfather was a roofer. Um, And so we used to be on top of like the Westin, what formerly known as the Peachtree Plaza. As a kid, man, I would go up there and look down and like wow. But he would teach us how to get on top of houses. My neighbor in Kirkwood, because my grandparents lived in Kirkwood. My neighbor, Mr. Johnny, who still owns a ton of stuff over there, was buying houses for $1 at that time in East Lake and Kirkwood. They had what they call dollar houses. And he would pay us to help clean out houses. So we seen the process. And then my father he owned some real estate. And so when I was in college, I was like, man, I want to go make some money, right? Um, he kept saying, go do some real estate. I fell into being a bird dog. And my first year, we did a couple deals. The second year, we did probably 100 deals. We were making $500 to $1,000 a deal. But you got to remember, I was only 20, right? And so it was a really, really great feeling. And from there, it just took off. When I didn't know about fixing and flipping, honestly. When you knew about it, but it wasn't sexy in 1994, right? Buying and holding, being a landlord is what I knew. And so we started out buying and holding. And by the time 1996 rolled around, we were fixing and flipping and buying commercial properties. And so it took off pretty well.
Wow. So from a time like that, then, which, I know was pretty lucrative, a lot of stuff was going on. From a time like that, then, fast forward to now, what would you say were some of the major differences in, I guess I would say, barriers of entry of getting into business? Was it easy to get in then as opposed to now, do you think?
So, the internet has changed it because it's so much education out here. So I think it's a little bit easier to get into now, but I also think it's more distractions. So it's easy to get distracted. Then it's like, hey, listen, man, go knock on some doors, bring me those addresses. The guys we were working with or working for was like, just go get me some addresses, get the telephone number, and bring it back to us. We'll look it up in the phone book. And I know this sounds crazy. We'll look it up in the phone book, and we're gonna find a number, and we're gonna call them, right? Now it is so. We're gonna put an ad out in the newspaper. I remember, all of our marketing came from going down on Marietta Street to the AJC, right? And you go down there, I think on like a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, put your, you had your little bitty pencil, you write it in, turn it in, and voila, or you can fax it in, right? That was our marketing. But other than that, man, the biggest change I think is because of social media and the internet and YouTube. Uh, Everything else is the same. The principles are the same, Glenn. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take consistency. Those things have not changed. I think the access to the information has changed, but that's about it.
So now you said a couple things that these probably some of these young folks gonna have to figure out what you're talking about when you said facts and go down to the AJC and pencil in your ad. Some of these folks ain't gonna know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about that.
Right. So now, and you did say something that was really significant, that, you know, from the difference from then and now is, you know, there's a lot of noise in the air, you know, that can cause distractions.
Yes.
Now, from somebody that's getting started today, from somebody that's getting started in the business of real estate today, what would you say that they should be primarily focused on getting started, you know, and even from a strategy perspective of getting started in real estate? You know, how should they come in if I have no money and no credit and I don't know
Yeah.
nothing? What do I do to get started?
So one, if you have no money or no credit,
Mhm.
you better have some time, right?
Mm,
And so if you don't have either one, then you don't get in this business.
mhm,
You know, but if you got one, if you don't have money, you don't have credit, you got time. You got time to learn, you
mhm.
got time to intern. And when I say intern, I mean intern. I mean
Right,
humble yourself enough to go work with somebody and learn and tell them up front, I'm looking to learn, and then stick with that person.
right.
Like some people think that they think, let me say, I'm a highlight think if I can.
Yeah.
They think they come around us and they get stuff and they think they're going to go out there and they've won the battle. Yeah, I got it from them. Now I'm
Wow.
gone.
Yes.
Right. The problem with that is you don't know anything
Right,
and you
right.
still get tangled up. And yeah, you go do one deal or two deals, and then we see y'all working somewhere. I pull up at Chick-fil-A and you out there, and no knock on Chick-fil-A because you know it's my favorite.
You're right.
But
Hmm.
you fell out of the business because you didn't have the infrastructure. You didn't have anybody saying, let's go, let's go. Because it's days that we want to quit, right? It's
Right.
times that you like, God damn, I want to quit. Like, man, I'm done, right?
Right,
But,
right.
but, you know, if I was just starting out, man, I would look to be a sponge, but
Hmm.
I would also look to be the regular sponge and the one that you can wring out. So I would want to do anything that I can to help somebody and learn
Hmm.
from somebody at the same time. If that means I got to come and pick you up, and everybody knows I don't like to drive, so I'm so
Yeah,
easy to deal with.
right.
You can just, I'm gonna come pick you up, Ramon, and I'm gonna take you to every house you got to go to today. And even if it only means we're going to one, you can
Hmm.
learn something from that one. Can you get connections? Yes, you can. And then we can teach you how to go out and get those resources and build your credit. And it's not always about you paying for it with
Hmm.
money, but you can pay for it with time and the right attitude and the right work ethic. And I can
Hmm.
say this, Glenn, 99.9% of the people don't believe in giving, and they don't have the work ethic. And they're not gonna ever have the work ethic. And that's why, you know, we're gonna always have jobs. There's always gonna be minimum wage. There's always gonna be like what's happening now where people are complaining about the $1,200 stimulus. Like
Hmm.
stimulate yourself,
Right,
right?
right.
It's all, in my opinion, it's always going to be that. And again, it's no knock on that, but people have to understand where we come from when we talk about this work ethic. This thing ain't easy.
Right, right.
Can you have an easy transaction? Yes. But the business is not easy.
Real stuff, man. Real stuff. You know, that's something that, you know, that's something I really have to echo. You know, when a lot of times people look at getting into the business of real estate, especially like you said, with the availability of information all over the place. People want to get in and they think because they've watched a couple YouTube videos and came to a couple meetings and sat in and heard something, you know, said that they can do, they think they got all the pieces. Right. And I think that part of what you said is major because that separates a lot of the people who excel, you know, because you
Yes.
said, like you said, they don't want to give. They don't want to give of their time. They don't want to offer anything to be able to obtain that information. So major stuff, man. I really had to echo that because I really want to make sure people pay
Hmm.
attention to that. From that standpoint, and we know how we got started. I know some of the steps that you know to get started and the ways that you had to give of your time. Um, what is it that you would say is a difference, I guess, from and I guess I'm gonna use the transition from the market crash to 2008, you know, to now. What would you say the transition would be for someone who did not experience that now wants to get into this business? What are some of the things that they should be focusing on to begin with, outside of offering of their time? Should they be focusing on their education? Should they be focusing on the people, the meetings and things like that? What would you say? What would you do? I guess I look at it from this perspective, even though you've been in the business for, 35,000 years.
Damn, man, you gonna put my age out like that?
See, I had to embellish a little bit, so I would tell people how old you really are.
It's all right.
If you were getting started, with knowing the elements of what's needed to get started, and you had time, for a young Ramon, what would you do for an older Ramon today to get started? I'm coming to you, I ain't got nothing. What I need to do for you to start learning how to do this business?
Really, listen, man, this is easy. Really, you need to understand what the strategies are. Get really, really good at something, and I'm not going to say that you're comfortable with. Either become a good negotiator, a good researcher, because see, listen, everybody has their strong points, right? I am so direct when people say, what's your script? I say, my script is, hey, Miss Johnson, how you doing? Do you own a house at 123 First Avenue? And they say, yep. And I just say, would you like to sell it? Like, that's my script. It doesn't work for everybody else. But I have been successful using that script, right? Somebody else may not be as strong with their script, and they may have to go through a bunch of scripts. So finding where you're going to be strongest at, because researching is probably the most important part of this business.
Yeah.
When I say researching, skip tracing, finding owners, being able to pull together the information, the data is very, very critical. The correct data, not, you got a house over here that's 900 square feet and one over here that's 2,200, and you say the one at 900 can sell for, $200 a square foot just because the one at, that 400 sold for $200 a square foot. So really just learning the strategies, man, and then figuring out where you fit in. Not saying I'm gonna do all of it. You know what I mean? Because if I get a short sale, guess what? I send it somewhere. Yeah, I can do a short sale, right? But why would I do a short sale when my system is not built for a short sale? My system is not my system is built for fixing and flipping and buying and holding. My wholesale system works, but that's why my team does it. And so when somebody gets into it and says, man, my system can accommodate all of it, that's probably not true.
Right.
So even though people look at us like we do a lot of deals, man, I partner with a lot of people. I collaborate like crazy. I tell people all the time, man, I'm doing deals in multiple cities. I know how to pick up the phone and say, hey, man, listen, if you'll go look at that deal for me, walk and get the video, get the pictures, help me facilitate this deal, we'll split the money. Guess what that person does? They work like hell. They bring you the deal. They bring you more deals. They go take pictures. They meet contractors. They open up doors for other buyers. And yes, I'll split it. I'll split $1,000 20 times a month with you, Glenn, every month. Man. That's $120,000 a year. You know what I mean? And that is something that you have to be comfortable enough doing it, though. Knowing that if I get a short sale, guess what I'm sending my short sale? I'm sending my short sale to Kendall. Right? If I get a creative deal, right, a subject to, right, I may have one of my other guys go get it and lock it down and structure it right. Because that's not what I do, and taking my time to figure it out. Oh my God, I got to find this contract. Oh my God, I got to fill it out right. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not that greedy. I'm not that person.
Again, brother, there I use the word masterful.
I just watched Django last night. You can't use that word.
I got to think of another excelled word for you there. I got to think of another word for you. But that actually right there, man, that's the when you said you'll do a $500 deal 20 times a month, I think that's what's gotten lost. Now, I know when I learned, Carlton, she's told me if it ain't worth $30,000, don't do the deal. Right.
Yeah, and you won't be doing but one of those a year around here.
Exactly. That's what ended up happening for the most part. I mean, I got good at doing them because it was the land of milk and honey back when I was doing it some time ago.
Right.
But what I missed during that time was that collaboration. I worked with some people, but it wasn't intentional. Right. Like if it was a deal that came across that, I had to give up some money, I did. But my mindset at the time, it wasn't intentional. I wanted all the money. And I think a lot of what's happened from then to now, and I think mostly it has something to do with, cats not really understanding how the market was then. A lot of what's happened from then and now I've seen is that people have a set amount of money that they expect to make on each deal. Tell me what your thoughts are on something like that.
So Glenn, honestly, man, for me, I look at what my bills are every month, right? And take away the passive income, take away rental income, take away affiliate income, because we got income from a bunch of different places that we can develop.
Definitely.
But I also look and say, you know what, man, if let's say me and you are standing at Atlanta Ria, and you hear somebody say, well, they're looking for, I don't know, 3-1 in Southwest Atlanta, and their budget is 80,000, right? And I'm standing on the other side, and somebody say, man, I got a 3-1 in Southwest Atlanta. I want, 90,000 for. And me and you started talking like, man, I just heard somebody say they got that. Oh, I got somebody that want that, right? If we make a couple phone calls, yeah, we want to make 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. But if it's not there, I'm not going to walk away from a deal. I've heard people say, man, if I ain't making this, I ain't even going to look at the deal. And I'm like, send it to me. I'm going to take 500 because those 500s are those base hits. I'm going to tell you what happens with 500. For me, I'm going to itemize it. 500, I pay my light bill. 500, I pay my insurance. 500, I send it to my daughter at school. 500, I pay my cell phone bill. 500, we pay the cable bill. 500, we have an event. So I ain't have a 7 500s, right? That's 7 500s. But I'm not struggling. 500, I take it and put it to the side for earnest money for my next deal. So when I get that 500 and I go use it to lock down a deal, if I lose it, I lose it. But if I take 500 and I use it as earnest money as a wholesaler and I go make 2,500, well, now I got some more money to continue to wholesale. Now I got money to start marketing Facebook ads. Now I got money to travel. When we're talking about we're going to Detroit to learn the market and meet new people, or we're going to Florida or whatever it is. Now I got money to, when I'm sitting at the table with Glenn, I'm not afraid to order food and then be able to grab the bill before Glenn grabs it, and everybody's comfortable sitting at the table. So those 500s, Glenn, I promise you, they've saved my life. Recently, I don't mean, like I don't ever mean like I'm too good or too big. 500. I just made 500 on the deal in Cleveland. Guess what? I never seen the deal. I made one phone call, took 15 minutes. So if I can make one phone call and get $500 every 15 minutes, that's $2,000 an hour. That's $80,000 a week if we're gonna do those kind of numbers, right? So when people look to get in this business and they hear, and there's no knock on any of the gurus, man, but I hear people saying they show the check for 50,000, but they don't show all the other stuff that had happened behind the business. So you excited now. Somebody got a check for 50,000, 35,000, right? It's one of our gurus that have been showing the same check, I swear, for 2 years, right? and I laugh about it, but I've seen the same check, right? And they're making a ton of money, but they're making more money on education than they are on the business. And it's, again, nothing wrong with that, right? But I want, when people are listening, to understand that every little bit helps. Every time, if you're in a deal, I'm not saying let somebody take advantage of you, but if you're in a deal and that deal calls for all of us to, make $432.12 a piece, why not? Are you gonna get mad and walk away? Because I'll take your share.
Right.
I'll take your share. So, people's expectations, I want to make as much as I can. Those deals are going to come, but it's a lot of competition. This is still, right now, despite what I'm hearing, this is still a seller's market. So the deals are still tough. If you're listening right now, Glenn could sell 100 deals tomorrow if you found them at 70 cents on the dollar. I could sell 100 deals tomorrow. They're not there. It's not a ton of them. So, get in where you fit in and understand how to be a part of something as opposed to wanting to have 100% of that pie. 100% of that pie sometimes is zero. And I promise you, it's some sad, lonely days, Glenn, when you got that zero. I've been there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I get it, man. And that's the thing, man, that I think a lot of that what you're talking about, collaboration primarily, has been one of the things that's been a lost art in what we do. I've heard some educators in the real estate world said to tell their students that, listen, if you're not getting $10,000, it's not a good deal. And and I listen to that and I say, well, if they can do less work and do 10 deals for $1,000 each, and they're doing less work, because that $10,000 deal you might have to work your behind off for, unless you're doing like some of these cats, just getting somebody else's deal and emailing it out and hoping for the best.
I got a story about that because we need to talk about that one. Oh Lord.
Go ahead, share with us. Go ahead, share with us.
So look, I don't listen, man. I tell people this: Glenn, if you market a deal, and I see you marketing a deal, I'm gonna call you and say, all right, Glenn, you're marketing a deal for 90,000. Can I market it for 90,000? How much can you give me at 90? Because all of us have a little room, right? How much can you give me at 90,000? Are we doing a joint venture? Or are you just gonna give me a referral fee? What is that? If you get it for 85, will you? If I bring a buyer, will you give me 2,500? Do you really only want to give me $1,000, right? And so I never mark more. I never put a deal out, regardless of whose it is, for more than what you're putting out there for. That's one.
Right.
But two. True story, man. 2 weeks ago, a guy called me about a property we got off the internet. And it was like, man, I want to put it on the contract. I promise you I can close. A young guy, right? But he was texting me. And so he sent me a proof of funds. And we let him put it on the contract. He sent his earned money right away. But I had a feel because he came back and was like, well, I want to, is it all right if I wholesale it? So I was like, I don't care as long as you close it. So he said, I promise you I can close it. I'm going to close it, blase. So had his inspection done, sent me his appraisal, the whole nine. So he comes back, and I'm getting ready to do a video about this. He comes back with the okie doke, right? Oh man, do you think we can renegotiate? So I started laughing. I was like, hell no. No, man, what we gonna do? Go up? Because you want to go up? Okay, well, we can go up 5,000. You want to renegotiate? So eventually he didn't close the deal. Somebody else sent it to me. This lady got really nasty with me, Glenn, because she sent it to me, and I was like, who are you? Why are you sending me my deal? She sent this. Glenn, if you could see this email, you would be like, what? And I got to share it with you because I was going to post it. Like, I'm going to post who she is. She says to me, you don't know who I am. I'm going to let everybody in this business know how you are conducting business, asking me who am I and where my proof of funds. I am very well connected with millionaires. And I was like, man, if you don't get them off my email with that buzz, you know what I mean? Like, she got an earful. She got an earful. And I attempted to call her because you sending me my deal and get mad because I asked you how you get my deal, my property that I own. Come on, man. And so the problem with this business is people's ethics and being honest. I talked to that same guy, right? Finally, this morning on my way back on my way to get ready for this. And he texted me, man, I would like to understand why you not answer my phone call. And I texted me, you're not a closer. Why am I gonna keep talking to you? If you want to wholesale, just say I want to wholesale. So I picked up the phone and called him, Glenn. He's very young. He admitted to me that he had wholesale one deal. And I told him, I said, listen, man, your text to me was, I promise you that I'm going to close regardless if I wholesale it or not. I told him this morning, I said, I don't care if you wholesale it, man, but it's a way to wholesale. And then just be straight up with me, because I had 4 or 5 people send me that deal to me. It's my deal. And I said, that's aggravating, very aggravating, right? Especially when you told me you're going to close and then you didn't close. So if something happened, Glenn, where you don't have enough for the down payment, I'm fine with that. If your lender pulled out, I'm fine with that, because I've been through all of that, right? But for you to just attempt to tie it up to renegotiate, I said, brother, listen, you in the wrong business, small world. I said, because my partner has your name in red on the board, he will never sign another contract with your name on it. Never. So it's really all about, man, doing it the right way, Glenn, regardless of what party you're doing, and stuff happens. Man, I've had deals go too long. I had deals that fall out. So just tell people, and if they get mad, so be it. But at least you've done your part and be honest with them.
So let me ask you this question. I mean, because you gave a very, very, very educational point in that. But from an educational standpoint, what do you think is missing when someone, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying, reduces themselves to attempt to try and do something like that? What do you think they're missing in education, and why they would do something like that?
It ain't got nothing to do with education. Zero.
Okay.
That's straight ethics and morals.
Okay.
I'm gonna say common sense, ethics, and moral. They don't care. They are doing whatever it takes to make some money, or at least they think they're gonna make some money. But like I told the guy this morning, I said, listen, if I got it out there at, I'm just gonna say me, I got it out there at 90 or 85, you put it out there at 115, and we're all on social media. Who do you think they're gonna call, me or you?
Right.
I was like, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And we see this stuff, man. Somebody brought something to Deal Makers 2 times, right? Somebody brought something 1 week before, and then another person brought it back the next week. The person that brought it back the second week brought it back for $5,000 more. And so everybody on Deal Makers was like, man, we just seen this last week.
Right.
Oh God. I really wasn't on there, but I was listening but just do business a good way, man. Get to the source. If you don't know something, then just say, listen, Glenn, man, I got a deal. I need help with it. Can you help me negotiate this deal? We split the money.
Right.
That's the biggest problem. That greed and them ethics. See, the greed says, I don't want to split my money with Glenn. I don't want to split my money with Ramon. But I want them to give me all the information. I want them to help me when I'm in trouble. I want them to, when I really screw up. And I get this. We're doing some stuff in Columbus, right? And so, I put it out there. I need some help in Columbus. Bring me all your deals. We're going to develop a neighborhood. I get 4 phone calls, and then I see a post. Oh, now we're doing business in Columbus, Georgia. Then somebody else was like, oh, Ramon, what do you think about this neighborhood? I don't know what I think about it. The hell you think about it? like, because I don't mind sharing, Glenn. Right. But folks, what they want to do is come to you and subtract, right? And I like when people attempt to subtract, because it means I'm adding something, right? And I know that sounds crazy. I'm adding something new because I know who I'm dealing with. When you think you're taking from me, you're really not. You're really making me more powerful. And so many people do that. And then when you're in that business and you don't know you're in that business, you will see us pull away. I'll stop answering your phone call.
Right.
So I may miss a deal, Glenn, because once you done that bull, I ain't even gonna pick your phone call up no more.
Right.
I don't have time. Like, I don't have time for you to send that craziness to me. I don't have time. Man, Glenn, you know how powerful our network is, man. If I pick up the phone and call Keto or you or Will and Tim, I mean, I can go name on and on. Y'all, we don't even need no more new people. Like that song with No New Friends.
No New Friends.
Really, not saying we don't want it, not saying we don't welcome it, but what we have right now, man, we got a dream team.
Definitely.
All over the country. Right now.
Yeah.
We can just stop. No more relationships. We can just stop and really do an amazing job. But because we care, we continue to open ourselves up to the things that we're talking about now. People that don't care, people that don't know, people that don't want to know. Only thing they want to know is how much money they can make.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So, I mean, what would you tell folks, man? I mean, like you gave so much meat in that information that you gave, and I had like 5-6 questions that came out of what you just said. And I mean, but I want to kind of narrow it down a little bit, because I know what you shared, man, was definitely powerful. I mean, from a standpoint of just helping people understand that there's a couple ways that I could go and say this. I don't know.
Say it straight, Glenn. No chaser. We want it straight on here. This is real life real estate investment.
Real estate investment.
This ain't play. Let's go.
For sure. So from that perspective, do you think it's us, man? Do you think it's us?
No.
Okay.
No. Now you talking about? I mean, the folks stole the whole country. And I don't think offending nobody.
I mean, what is the issue that we have with working with one another and helping one another? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I think some people don't get how much more we could do if we, you know, came together.
So I have friends and I collaborate with folks of all nationalities, right? What I can say is they have just as many issues as we do,
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh yeah.
or more. I know organizations that have stolen from each other. I know people that have stolen from each other. I know people. So it's not a us thing, but the reason why we say it's us is because we work together very well. Let me just let everybody know that we do deals together. We collaborate. In 2018, we did 27 cities in 24 weeks, and we collaborated all across the country. So we don't have that issue, Glenn. We have a human nature issue, right? And I think all nationalities have it. Now, as far as African American people, we have had our hurdles and challenges. So trust is an issue, right, amongst ourselves because we have been brainwashed and taught that. You know, it's like when we're going to talk about the master, right? The master beat the husband so the wife didn't trust him. And so that has carried along for a long, long time. And so when black people say, you know, oh, black women heads be doing this, right? Well, what has happened is most of the time we've given them a reason not to trust us. But over time, man, that has been ingrained in our households. That has been, and it's our job to break that. So even in our business relationships, if you do business with 50 black people, something's going to happen in those relationships, right? So as soon as something happened with one of us, man, that's why I want to do business with black folks. If you did business with 50 Asian folks, something's going to happen. If you did it 50 Hispanic folks, something's going to happen. It's just normally we do business with people that look like us. And when we do, right, we expect so much. But if I only go do business with one, I'm gonna call a Jewish guy. If I do, but I'm not gonna go pick any Jewish guy. I'm gonna seek out the best Jewish guy and do business with him. So yeah, it does look like they are doing better business, but that's not the case. All of us got faults. Every nationality, we're human. And so when people say, "Man, what do I think about doing business with black folks?" You know, I'm not anti anybody, and people get that confused, right? I'm anti somebody that does something to me. I don't care what color you are, right? But I am pro black. I want to see I want to see this thing equal. And when I say I'm pro black, we will never ever be economically equal, sociologically, like we're never gonna be equal because, and I'm gonna not say never, until we intentionally do what we do on a daily basis. It's not taken away from anybody, it's adding to us. And when people because a lot of people are offended by what I do, Glenn, you know that, right?
Yeah.
When I say I refer people to black closing attorneys, because you never seen an Asian person say, "Hey, go use Steve Wharton." You never seen, even yesterday, somebody got mad at me because I said, "The hell we celebrate Cinco de Mayo for?" I mean, I'm not saying you're not able to, but tell me, when do you see the soul food restaurant full of Hispanics or full of Asian people or Jewish people? When do you see it? When do you see the Jamaican restaurant full of anybody else?
Right.
But we see the Japanese restaurants, we overtake them. We see, so it's something, I won't say something wrong with us, but we value things that I think we value things more than what we should value. We value other relationships more than what we value our own. You know what I mean, Glenn? And another example, one day I was outside of a building that we own, right? And one of my friends of another nationality was standing next to me. And 3 people walked up. One was the guy that coming to do the pest control, walked right up to him. So where do we start? So I smiled. He looked at me. I was like, I don't know where he started. He can't even work on this job because of that ignorant mentality. I had a tenant that walked up and says, "Well, you know, who do we talk?" They walked right to him. Who do we talk about renting this place? Right? If our mentality is always white is right, and it ain't wrong. Again, that's why you see those issues that you're talking about, Glenn. That's why you see us not being able to work together, because when we walk in a room full of us, we're already skeptical. When we walk into a room full of somebody else, we feel like we've made it. And I we all bleed the same blood, and I believe we all share the same God. And so those things probably get up under my skin a little bit more than normal. But man, black is beautiful, man. And so when people say we don't work together, we got whatever, I don't believe in that. Like I don't know. I guess that doesn't work for me. I think we work together very well.
Real stuff. So again, another million questions that I could ask, directions that I could take that. But you definitely drop some major science. That's what I want to get into, the science of flipology, because brother, you are dare I use this word again? I'm gonna say scientific.
I like that word. You know what you need to say? You know what you need to say? You should say you're kind of Glenn Glasperish. Keto John. You know what I mean? Like we gotta start Tim Harvey-ish. You know what I mean? Like we gotta start
Will Galloway-ish.
You know what I mean? That's when you know we made it,
Definitely. But I mean, it's you're giving some great points, man. And I my prayer is that people that watch this definitely understand what you're talking about. And that's the one thing I think that oftentimes people miss when we have these conversations about being pro us. People miss that, they're against, there's nothing about being against anybody. But of course, if we're wearing the same jerseys, I want to see this team win. I'm not opposed to y'all winning in the other series that y'all play in, but this team got on the same jersey I got on.
Here's something, Glenn. And we can sit in a room, and I don't care who it is, right? My question has always been is, one, do y'all see that things are unequal for African Americans or people of color, people of our color all over the world, right? How do y'all think that got there, and how do we fix that?
Right.
Was affirmative action a good program? Yes. Right. Do I feel like I'm always torn? I'm gonna tell you why I say I'm torn. I don't want to take away from anybody, so you got to just add to us directly. So, and the reason why I say that, if somebody was coming to buy my house and there's a little black woman, a little white woman, right? I don't know how they got pre-approved. I don't know what they went through. So should I lean on selling it to the young black woman because she's black, or do I sell to the best candidate, right? Do I lean on selling it to the young black woman because black homeownership needs to, some kind of way, we got to boost black homeownership so that we become equal? I don't know, Glenn, and I pray about that, right? But I do know something has to happen where there's some, I don't call it reparations. There are some things where we don't even have to talk about slavery. I'm talking about post-slavery things that happen to people as African American after 1950, after 1960, segregation, right? Jim Crow, segregation. I'm talking about those. I'm not even, take slavery out the picture because what you gonna do with it, right? What is it, man, that we do so that we become? We live in we have an equal opportunity. So my kids, Glenn, your son, when he get to be 21, where he can walk in a bank and have the same privileges as a 21-year-old white kid, a 21-year-old Asian kid. What is that? So if somebody can tell me that one, we winning. But it's still, you got to have the answer.
Definitely.
Might have the answer. So all we can do is work hard, continue to do what we're doing, and empower as many people as we can of all colors. But I got to make sure I empower the people at home, and that's the people that look like me. I started Flipology so that people in my community have access to the same information that people in any other community have without having to pay a fortune.
Wow. Real stuff. Man, Brad, I don't look, I want to stay in this lane.
We'll be here forever on that one, Glenn, because, man, when I say I'll start talking about the video I saw yesterday. I'm like, what the, man, what
Brad,
the.
I was refusing to even look at that, but
I saw it, brother.
Yeah, I saw it. I
I
saw it.
saw it. Here's my thing. I'm gonna touch on it, Glenn, and then we're gonna talk about some real estate.
Okay.
But I gotta touch on it. I gotta touch on it because it brought tears to my eyes.
Me too.
And
Too.
that dude was hunted down, brother. Like,
Yeah.
and I see all these comments from us. Oh man, what I'll do, we're not gonna, as a people, we're gonna forget about that dude in 2 weeks. We forgot about Trayvon. We are not going to do, our toughest people are only doing, and that's when it's a problem we got to figure out psychologically as a community, because George Zimmerman walked around LA through the Bloods and Crips and still living. And so, yeah, we would have killed him. Yeah, we would have did this. We knew what he did to that kid. And we didn't do anything. And so, that kind of thing is, we have to channel that energy and figure out a bigger platform so that, is it that we remain safe as a black man, as a black, like my son leave here. Glenn, you gotta, your baby, your son is on his own. And I'm sure you think what I think. My son is 24 May 1st. And I think about him being out. What happens if he gets stopped at a traffic light? What if he out there jogging? That's my son.
Right.
What if he at a studio and this happened? What the hell is a citizen's arrest? I wouldn't stop either. You're not stopping me, brother. I'm running up the street. You lost your mind.
That's what killed me right there, bro. I'm like, whoa.
Man, but that's Glenn. Glenn. I don't know if you know. We started an organization. Hopefully we'll have it 501(c) designation called Monday Morning Men, and we talk every Sunday night from 11 to 11:30 and say a prayer, because we understand that men, all nationalities, are under different kind of pressure. Women don't have their own pressure, but black men, goodness Jesus, we got a different kind of pressure.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
And we talk about it. We talk about ways to cope. It's called Monday Morning Men because men either have heart attacks or commit suicide between Sunday night and Monday morning.
Wow.
And one of the things we focus on is having ways to relieve stress, have outlets to talk, have outlets to have resources to go lay on somebody's sofa. Let's talk about how we can relieve ourselves and figure out ways to make more money so we provide for our family, so we're not faced with that issue. Because if you're faced with that issue, how do you deal with the other issues that we deal with? How do we come together as a society and say, man, come on, y'all. If y'all think that is right, what we just saw on camera, like the person that was driving behind them, like that's who I want to do something to them. Because y'all followed that boy. Even if he broke in a house, Glenn, it gives you no reason. You call the police. I just saw this dude running up the street. I just saw this kid that was breaking in the house run up the street, and I'm going to film him run up the street until the police get here. How the hell you take it on your own to follow him like he's jogging? They had to be that boy ran at least a mile, Glenn, or more. And you got a camera, and then you watch them shoot him. Come on, man. Come on, isn't it? Woo! Okay, let's get back to
come on, man. You look, you gonna make me cuss on this show. I ain't never did that before, but
but when that happens all too often. It was another one 2 weeks ago where the guy had his hand, he was standing outside the car just like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that one. The lady was like, keep your hands up. He was like, I got my hands up.
Yeah.
They shot that boy, and he jumped in the car and tried to pull off. They shot that car so many times. But if he's standing with his hands up, y'all just supposed to walk up to him and make him lay down. Right. If that's what you're gonna do. That boy did not move. He didn't do it. He got his hands up. Right. Come on, man.
Right.
Mama Leah, come on. Let's get into something different, Glenn.
Now you got me distracted now, man.
That's a whole nother topic, brother. It's one that the world has to discuss. The world has to do something about it. It's not going to be just us in the black community, because we're not going to have no revolt. You know what I mean? We ain't got enough power, enough guns, and me being honest. And we don't want that anyway. That's putting too many people in harm's way. It's got to be, prayer, and it's got to be systematic changes. It's got to be, it's some other things that, has to be done to prevent that, because it has been a public display for the past 10 years.
Definitely.
Public display. Under Obama, people get mad. I'm like, more of them got killed under Obama than they did Bush. At least we saw more of it. So, Woo, okay.
Man.
Well, I'm gonna back to real estate. But we said real life, y'all. These are things that we talk
Real
about.
life. Hey, this is real life stuff, man. And
Yeah.
and all of these things, you know, whether people get it or not, all these things affect the way that we're able to do things in our life, in business and everything, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a conversation, real talk that needs to be had, you know. So
Yeah.
listen, I wish we had 2 or 3 more hours to get into
I
it.
do too, Glenn, because I'm gonna say this though. So I'm gonna let you. I know you got a couple questions, but I'm gonna say this. I was, I'll go to different cities and then we'll go and look at properties. And so one day, sometimes I get in the car by myself, man, and just go. Like I might go through Alabama, Anderson, Alabama, Heflin, Alabama, Birmingham, Montgomery. Well, and so I happen to get a lead on the property, man, and I can tell you. I wasn't afraid, but I was very cautious because I ended up going back in these backwoods and I started thinking about, damn, what if one of them, somebody pull up with that foolishness? Like I'm gonna shoot my way out of it. And then y'all just got to come get me later. Like I'm not stopping. I'm not raising no hands. I'm gonna let it go. And then we'll just deal with it when we deal with it. And I don't want to have to feel like that though. That's a horrible feeling because I had that feeling, man. Like I was driving, I'm like, man, what if, you know what I mean? Some Mississippi burning stuff happened. Like what if, because we are still, for some reason, a threat to society.
Yes.
And I understand that, this is what we deal with. Man, I was on this little dirt road and they were laughing. I didn't have no phone reception. Right. When I told them, they was like, you were scared. I was like, I wasn't scared. I was just super cautious. Like I wanted to make sure I was protected. If I came out of that house and somebody pulled up, I had to be on, like my head was on a swivel. And I don't want to feel like that, man. That's a horrible feeling. So, but that's real life stuff though, man. That's,
Hey, listen, I think the video that had the most views that I ever did was the video I shot when I was going into the house a couple years ago. I said, boy, hey, listen, because in doing what we do, man, we have to be careful in anywhere we go. Yes. It ain't because it's a certain neighborhood, and anywhere we go, we got to be careful because it's people out in all different type of situations to try and take away from what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're just trying to progress just like anybody else. And if anybody has an opportunity to try and limit that, some people will definitely try to go forward and try and limit that. But just back to what you said, that's why it's even more important for us to look at ways to collaborate and look at ways to, just hold each other's arms up, in situations where, it gets tough, because it gets tough for all of us, man. It gets tough for all of us. This life and this business ain't easy for any of us. It's just some of us that make it probably look a little easier because of what we've known and what we've experienced, but it ain't easy by any means.
No, it's not.
But man, some more of the science of flipping houses. We're gonna talk about Flipology. Why Flipology, man? I mean, of course, it's the science of flipping houses, but how did you come up with that idea? I mean, as scientific as that is, what made you come up with the idea of Flipology?
20.
And how much does it cost for other people to just say that word? I know you got a patent and a trademark.
You know what? We don't, man. Somebody else was already using it, Glenn. We don't even have flipology.com. Somebody already had it.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, somebody already had it. So here's the thing. In 2014, we had been teaching in like hotel rooms. Don is like a mentor to me, man. Don Jacobs like a big brother to me. So for years, Don would do events. I would do events. In the early 2000s, we would do stuff in like hotel, ballrooms or whatever, but nothing formal. It was like y'all come meet. It's kind of like a multi-level marketing kind of that feel. Mm-hmm. And so in 2014, people kept saying, Ramon, you need to make that better. Because at that time, we were in the bottom of the Castleberry Hotel doing meetings, right? And probably 2010 to 2014, we were doing meetings. They just wasn't, we were promoting a type of lending. We were promoting like multifamily portfolios, but it wasn't formal, right? Mm-hmm. And in 20 14, somebody came to me and they was like, you need to brand it. And I'm like, what is branding? You know what I mean? Like, I'm blue collar worker.
Right.
And so I met with a young lady by the name of Jay Stone, who is brand strategist for NASCAR and McDonald's, and just an amazing woman.
Yeah, I
And
listen to some of her stuff, man. She is
she's
amazing.
crazy, but
Amazing stuff. Yeah.
she's awesome. When I tell you she's awesome, and they was like, you need to meet her. And so I had a consult with her, paid for a consultation with her, and she was like, I got it. Right. And then she started talking about colors and themes. And then I've always said, you got to make people remember it. And so Flipology, the boot camp came first. The book came next, and then we've been growing ever since. But when we think about Flipology, like you said, the science of flipping real estate, flipping is just another name for exit strategy. And I think people get confused with flipping means I'm going to buy and sell something.
Right.
Flipping is the fourth step. Man, let me see. It's back there. See that one? Flip. It is. What is are you a wholesaler? Are you going to buy and hold? Because that is a form of flipping. Right. It's a long-term strategy. So, we started off talking about the basic fix and flip, right? Fix and sell, I would say. And then we just, if we started in November of 2014, March 2015 was the first, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 2015 was the first, March was the first Flipology. And it was amazing because we put together an amazing lineup of speakers. Again, Glenn, I said it before. Could I teach on every part of that, define, the fun, fix, and flip? Yep. But am I the best at every part of that? No. No. There's people that can tell you how to fund a deal 20 times better than me. Can I point you to that direction? I'm great at that. It's like ordering off a menu. See, I'm not a great cook, but I can order. Ooh, I can order. I'm on that now. Now I might be the best. I can order better than anybody in the world.
Right.
So, I believe, man, when we put it together, it started off as 2 days, an amazing Saturday and Sunday. It has grown to 2.5 days, Friday night through Sunday, and we run out of time, man. We have some amazing people, man, that have been through there to attend and been a part of it. And so I always say the science of it is when you break something down into little pieces so you can understand it, and then you're able to put it back together and be successful at put it back together and get your end result. And that's what we've done. We've taken a big piece of something, which is flipping, and we've broken it down scientifically in every step. So even on the fine side, we break that down. Even on the fun side, we break that down. Even on the fixing side, we break that down. And we got something amazing coming on my birthday this year on the fixing side, right? And then on the flipping side, how you close out, what's your strategy, who's the attorney. So the process has been put together our own way. Are we the only people that do it, Glenn? No, man. Everybody says find, fun, fix, flip, right? But we add our own special touch to it. And so it is what it is. It's the science of it. And I pray that we continue to get better at it and be more innovative. More, this timing has caused us to be more innovative. And so that's what Flipology is all about.
Man, listen, I first of all, I want to say I am a proud graduate of Flipology.
Where's your certificate at? Where's your certificate at, Glenn?
It's around here somewhere. I got it somewhere.
Oh, y'all see how I got it.
Hold on, man. I ain't gonna let you call me out now. Hold on. Let me go. I can go back to the first one of the first books.
There you go. There you go.
Binders. It's in there somewhere. I know I got it in there somewhere.
It's in there. Don't go find it. Don't go find it because you're gonna be able to knock something off the camera.
Hold on, let me see. It's in there somewhere. I'll pull it out. I
believe you. I believe you, man.
Look, man. No, but when I because I came to learn how to put something like that together, and I have to be honest, man, I completely forgot that was the reason I was there. because I learned so much in terms of of not just how to put that together, but in terms of how to do this business, and like you said, you broke it down. I mean, just to bite-sized pieces where anybody can understand it. Even somebody like myself who's been in real estate, 20 some years, it still made sense to me. Like, wait a minute, I need to be doing this that way. I need to understand how this part needs to go with that. So, and I pride myself on saying, I'm always a student first. And when I came to the event, I've been able to come to a couple of them. I mean, you had Les Brown there. I was like, man, how am I missing this with Les Brown is there?
It was amazing too.
You put together some amazing stuff, man. And I hate that sometimes those weekends, especially this last year, it was a blur for me this last year. I wasn't able to make it, but I'm always amazed at the panel that I see that you put together. I'm like, man, I need to be there. Like, the one time I think I had my son, he was on his way with me.
Hey, listen, that's the one thing about it, man. We don't mind if kids attend. I always tell parents, if you can keep them focused, they more than welcome to attend. I'm not a person with the longest attention span for the most part, so I know we take breaks, we have fun, we do things, so kids are welcome. We always, Glenn, this is something that I'll say. You start talking about our community. Now, I am going to get on our community. We save spots for young adults.
I was going to bring that up. Always great, man. Always.
Oh, God, Glenn, it's like the hardest thing in the world, man. Now, I can say that it's been very frustrating, right? Getting kids to attend. I say kids, I mean, from 14, 15 to 20, 21, right? To attend. And it's really a buy-in from the parents. I had a parent tell me one time, and then we're going to move on. She said, I don't know if he's going to get up that early. And I said, does he live with you? She was like, yep. And I said, how in the hell can he be in your house and you say you don't know if he's going to get up that early? I wish one of my kids would. If I decided we're going to get up at 3:45 a.m., you better go to sleep in the car. But you're going to get up. There is no option. These kids, we feel like we want to be friends with our kids. We're not friends. Not when it comes to what I say. We can be friendly, we friends, but when I say something, I'm a dictator. If I say it, I mean it. I'm not gonna tell you to go
in this house.
No, I'm not gonna tell you to go stick your hand in the toilet and some crap in there. I'm not gonna do that. That's when you can say, well, Daddy, you wrong. I ain't doing that. But to talk about something that's gonna better you, we've had people not show up, Glenn. We've had people that reserve 4 or 5 seats, and the seats are $300-$400 a piece, So you telling me that I'm saving these seats, we're gonna feed your child. All you gotta do is make sure they get there and stay there. And that's, man, I'm so proud that we've been able to fix and have so many kids there. But I'm also so sad that we have had so many people not show up or not attend or come one day and got tired or whatever it is about that. So that's a whole different animal. Like that's something that we have to work on as a community. We do.
You took me down another lane. But I got to bring this part up because you mentioned the price of it. I have my own opinion about that because I know the value of what you have in this event that you put on, and you do this event for a few $100s. And I'm gonna ask from your perspective. Like I said, I have my own. I'm gonna
give you my perspective.
What is it? What is it? With the cost versus value situation. What are your thoughts on that?
So, when I first started, I was starting for our community. Wanted to make it affordable. Didn't really understand what it took to throw an event on the way we do it. So the first ticket started off back in 15 was $97, right? We went from 97 to 197. I left that weekend in the whole 5 figures, right? So we did it again. We said, well, we need to sell more tickets and then we can break even. That didn't work. Forgot the more people you got. Because, you know, we feed you breakfast, lunch. You get T-shirts, hats, umbrellas, pens, books, the whole nine. We, you know, very good venue. We put you on our bus. You know, like you got DJs, photographers, the video. We got a whole production, right?
Sometimes 2 buses. Let's keep it 100.
Oh, God, yeah. So we finally went up to $297, and it felt a little bit better, right? Somebody told me, they said, Ramon, you way too cheap, and that's why people ain't gonna appreciate it.
That's what I was.
They showed me an event without the buses, without food, without the hats, and these guys were getting like $997. Tycoon told me, he was like, man, don't nobody feed people.
Right.
Don't nobody add no buses. He was like, when you add the buses, that's a whole nother weekend. That's another $5,000, $10,000 weekend, right? So I was like, man, I ain't doing that, man. My people can't afford that. But they do. The buses and rooms be full of them, full of us. So I started to say, you know what? Jill, man, I met Jill the second year we was doing it. And Jill started to help, thank God for Jill, marketing, doing some other things. So just the last 2 Flipologies, we went up to $497. We start off at, I think, $197, then it goes to go up $100 a month. Could we charge more? Probably, Glenn, but there's a dynamic of, let me give you this. I'm not walking around flashing the cars. And so sometimes people are not attracted to us. I know I do things my way. I don't think I've ever showed a check before. Because I don't get checks. We get wires. So how am I going to show you my wire? Exactly. Right? So that's a whole nother thing. If we raise the price up, I know that it's going to take out one of the population of people that I really want to help, right? And people can find money for anything. I know people are going to say that. But I think we attract who we're supposed to attract, the quality of folks. I only want 100 people every time. I don't want 3 or 4 buses. Maybe we may attempt 3 buses this year, depending on how this thing. But 3 buses going through a neighborhood is tough. My team is stretched to the max with 100 people because of how we interact with folks and the food. And I mean, it's a lot, Glenn. And so I think that number, when it gets to like $497, $597, I think that's a good number. You know, do I deserve more? Do we think we should? We could, but then I don't know, Glenn. I'm always torn between that because I think I see guys sell the same or less of a product for a whole lot more, and the room is full. And it's kind of like when we did the commercial wholesaling class, Flipology 201 through 203, back in December. There is not another lineup in the country around wholesaling, and y'all can go get them all. That was better than that lineup. There is not another, and we were $197, and we fed you lunch and breakfast, and hotels breakfast and lunches are $25 a plate.
Right. So
if you add that up, if you only gave me $197, we didn't have a chance to even make $50 a person, right? Wow. So sometimes we have to figure that out, man, because like Glenn, think about that wholesale lineup, man. We had Brandon Barnes, Tim and Will, Stacy Rossetti talking about self-storage.
Right.
We had James Wellington talking about multifamily wholesaling. We had John Stafford talking about wholesaling through relationships. We had Kendall Flickland. We had I'm missing somebody. I'm tripping. DJ came from Houston to talk about systems and strategies. I mean, we had when you left that room, was that a $2,000 day? Yes, because I've seen people get it. I've seen what these guys get. I've seen somebody call me and say, "Man, I spent $3,500 going to this person's event, but I got the same thing at Deal Makers in an hour and a half." So, Glenn, we're always torn between, are we really helping folks? Because these people might have $2,000 people at their conference, and we still battling for 75 and 100. And so it's always a battle, man. But I think I like our pricing. If you want to do more, can we charge more? Do I offer consulting? Yes. Can I point you to the right direction? Yes. But if you somebody and you spend your last 3,500 coming to my conference, I don't want that. I don't want that, Glenn, because I want you to be able to take that money and go do something. Can you go buy a mobile home? Can you partner with some people? That's where we're leaning, man. Because I want to, we really want to change lives and not change them because you spent all your money with me.
I have a couple schools of thought from that, and I gotta give some credit to my man Markwell Russell. He opened my eyes to, a whole different perspective in this thing. I look at that. I mean, and definitely I applaud you for what you do, man, for wanting to reach people, on different levels. I also look at it as a cost versus value type of thing. I think if people don't invest in the things that mean the most to them, there's always an expectation that it shouldn't be that much of an investment, right? There's always an expectation that it shouldn't cost this much. I mean, and I'm gonna use this as an analogy. Air Jordans have always been, the highest, $150, $200, $300 shoes at times, right?
Yeah, they have.
And the value may be questionable at times, but the cost is always consistent, right? And we'll find a way to invest in these shoes at times that give us no return on anything. But I look at the information. I mean, the lineup that you just named, one of those people, Stacey Rossetti, I mean, she could, one of her classes could be $500 alone, right?
Correct.
You get her, you get a John Stafford, you get a Kendall Ficklin. I think you had Will Roundtree in the house. I mean, one of these people alone can command that price individually, but you get them all in a weekend. I think the idea that we need to, and I think we often, and I'm gonna say this, and this is real life, so I'm gonna say this, I think we often do, and keeping it 100, we do our people a disservice when, and this is my opinion, when we don't help them understand that if you're looking to come to a weekend conference and your goal is to make, lifetime income, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, because the information that you offer in that conference can definitely put them in a position to be able to do that.
Correct.
If the expectation is that I should only be able to have to pay $200 or $300 to be able to make $20,000, $30,000 a month for the rest of my life, I think we often do our people a disservice when we don't help them understand that in order to be able to get the type of income that we're looking for, we have to look at the
investing in ourselves,
the cost versus the value analysis, and pushing us not just to get your money. I think that's the thing that people miss. It's not just to get your money, because I go a whole different, like people look at MLM, like multi-level marketing, and they say, I'm not giving you $200 because it's a scam. Be that as it may, maybe. But I've spent $200 to be able to sit down with millionaires. And I know a consultation with them for 30 to 45 minutes is a couple $1,000s. You see what I mean?
Correct.
If I only got to spend $200 and I get to sit down at the dinner table and have a conversation with you, I got my money's worth if I do that one time. And to be able to talk to a Ramon Tookes, and to say, it's now probably should be costing people to even say that they know you. And I know a consultation with you and a one-on-one mentorship with you is not cheap.
No. So Glenn, let me touch that though. I one-on-one, man, I'm gonna tell you what, and I don't say this a lot. I'll say it because we're on your show. The first year, man, I lost so much money. First 2 years of Flipology, because I called myself coaching. Same thing. Coaching was $3,000 or something like that, and you get 6 months of coaching a night. It was something crazy. I was so wore out then. I wasn't doing any deals myself, and my passion and my love is doing deals. And so we finally 2 years ago shifted up to 10 and 15,000, 25,000. Now one-on-one for 6 months is 29,000. And then I don't take everybody, even if you got 29,000. If you don't fit what I think, you go through a interview process, and then if you don't GL them, don't pass you, because I don't even interview you, GL them interview you. So they may tell you no, right? They may tell you to use that money to go buy a deal or whatever it may be. But and then I started doing the one-on-one consultations. They $500 for an hour right now. And that has been good because everybody, I don't take one-on-ones with everybody. If you're just starting, you don't really have any knowledge of the business, I don't want to spend my one-on-one teaching you the basics, right? Which is why I did that event the other week. So I want to do one-on-one if you've already selected a strategy, or if you kind of got some stuff going on. Again, it'll be a questionnaire. So I just don't want your money, because could I sell a bunch of those and jump on the phone with you and tell you what buying means? Can I tell you what wholesaling means? I want you to already have done something yourself. Right. And then we can get on, and we can go to the next level. I can give you a resource that will be worth 10 times the $500 for the hour. Those are the things that I look at, Glenn, man. And you're right about doing people a disservice with pricing, because people don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? And you see them. Now, I can say this, though. It has been some people that we have changed their lives, Glenn, at that number, and it makes me feel like that's when the hope come back, and I'm like, oh, it was worth it, right? Somebody will say, Ramon, man, because of this, right, this is what happened. And I'll be like, damn, all that pain and headache last year, it was worth it. Because one person, we changed one life. And so, Glenn, we're going to make our money. Do we create more products to sell and make more money? Yes. The event that we'll do is only going to be, I'm not going to another city. Flipology is not going to another city. They can come here. People can come to Atlanta. It is going to be the same 3 times a year in Atlanta: March, July, and November. And I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to run its course. Now, anything else is going to be online. And, we're going to make some more money. That's where we are.
I mean, for what it's worth, man, and I know you understand this. It goes without saying, I appreciate what you do. I do. I sincerely appreciate what you do, because you do offer an opportunity for people to be able to come sit at your feet, to be able to get that mass amount of information. And I just think that, the value, I think what needs to really be overstated is the value. Like, people see faces on flyers. Sometimes they just faces on the flyer to them. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to this event and see what's happening. But I just think that people need to really understand, and more and more, the value that's being offered. Because I remember, listen, back in the day, I had like a few guys tell me to sit down and have lunch with them was $5,000. Like, dude, I'm like, you're gonna be eating while I'm asking you questions.
You don't even get to eat. If I give you $5,000, you gotta take that to go. I'm gonna eat.
When the hour was up, the hour was up.
I mean, I'll say this, Glenn. It's some people that strategically it would be great, because I have said to myself, I want to do some things where I meet some folks, and if that's what that means. But it's still, I don't want to meet you because you're popular. I want to meet you because of your accomplishments. I want to meet you because of your mindset. Because there's some people that I wouldn't pay a dime to see, and they're very popular. Like
real fit. Real fit.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Somebody asked me the other day, and I'm gonna make you laugh. They was like, "Would you work with Donald Trump?" I was like, "Hell yeah." Sure would. If he called me tomorrow and be like, "Hey, Ramon," I'd be like Kanye, sitting up in the White House. Let me say this though. We do business with folks all the time. We don't know who they are and what they're like. And owners, we don't have an idea of what they're like, right? It's some things that I can learn from everybody. I don't care who you are. And I would love to learn them from you. It's some things that I would like to learn from people that are probably controversial, but it's probably mindset. How did you survive through being so controversial? What gives you your drive? It's things that I want to ask a lot of people, man. And so would I do business with the Don, as they call him? Probably. If he called me tomorrow and said I got development in New York, and somebody told me, they would be like, no, I wouldn't. Our agent told me this, no, I wouldn't list his property. I was like, he was a fool. You would be a fool. He called you and tell you to list some condos. You want to list them? I'm gonna list them and take a picture with him. And y'all just gonna be mad at me when I get y'all them government contracts that we gonna get 3 months down the road. No, but seriously, man, I think that, Glenn, when people talk about pay for lunch with people, man, and do things with people, it just depends on how do they fit into your goals. You know, if that person is somebody not just because they're a millionaire, but can they help you along? If they can, yeah, pay the money. If you got it, don't go broke paying the money, but spend the money if you have it. Because it's some people, man, that could change your life with one conversation would change your life forever.
Now, I talk about the $5,000 now because back then it didn't make sense to me, you know, because I didn't have it. That's the difference. Yeah. But I respect it now. I mean, you know, $5,000.
Because you charge it. That's why. Because you charge $5,000.
I respect the value of helping me get a result, getting my desired result. If my desired result is to make $20,000 a month, I only got to pay you $5,000 one time to do that, and I can make $20,000 for the rest of my life. Yeah, there's value in that. I'll do that, you know, all day long, you know. But then I didn't really get that. Like, you know, see, many people, you know, I think a lot of, you know, mindsets that we deal with, their mindset is that all you're trying to do is get my money. And it's not looked at as an investment in what you're looking to accomplish, right? And I even now have this different, you know, perspective now about even time. Some people say, you know, what you're investing is in the time that you get from me, right? But even in the time that you get from me, you might not get the result that you're looking for, right? So that's kind of how I had to shift my mindset. Like, if you're ultimately looking to be in a position to earn the money that you're hoping to earn, what is it worth to you to ultimately accomplish that over and over again? And oftentimes when people don't invest that money, it's not even so much that they don't have the money, but they're not willing to invest it because they're not willing to put in the work that is going to ultimately take them to get to the point of being able to accomplish the goal that they're going to, you know, they're looking to accomplish. You know, so
I agree.
Yeah, it's a lot of different schools of thought to that. You know, man, I think we've been on this show, man, almost 2 hours, bro. Look, hey, but I gotta say, man, I definitely appreciate you taking the time. You know, even though we had some issues in the beginning, I definitely appreciate you taking the time, man, because you gave me, and I know some other people that are watching, but you gave me a whole lot of perspectives and different ways to look at things, you know, not just as it relates to the business of real estate, but even from the business of being able to collaborate with our people and help each other, you know. And I think more and more of that needs to be, needs to happen. I do want to go down one lane, and you tell me if you know, we need to veer the other way, because, you know, this.
But let me say something before you go down that lane. Hold on, Glenn. I like what you said about how we had a little rocky start, but it's been smooth for the past hour and a half.
Yes, sir.
And so some of us not willing to hold on through the rocky start so we can get through the smooth sailing. So we don't get to finish. We don't get to finish. We quit. See, me and you, we didn't quit. I went outside and put my leg up on the pole and grabbed the metal rod. I was like, man, this is gonna work. You know what I mean? I had my daughter in here holding TVs but that is one of the things about being in life and this business. Y'all, we gonna go through some stuff. But if we stick together and we hold on, we're gonna be all right. And if you run, you're gonna run into another turbulent storm, because the storm move. Yeah. See, the storm don't stay in the same place. Man, the rocky water don't stay in the same place. They're gonna move. And what happens is most people continue to move with the storm. Instead of staying still and let the storm move. You move and you jump right over. You jump right into the path, and so you keep wondering, like, man, why my deals ain't working? Man, why she leave me, or why he leave me? Because you ain't sitting still long enough, and you're not willing to go through something to make something stronger and work with a team of folks that's going to be okay. We're going to have arguments. We're going to have issues, but we're going to work through them. And so that just reminded me, man, of how this call started. It started rough, but we all right now.
Brother, there you go again. Dropping that
I know.
science. Dropping that science.
I know when you said I thought about it, man. But I know you want to go down. Let's go down this road right quick, man. Let's go down this road.
First of all, I want to say Robert Yancey says he still owes us dinner, so the world is witnessing this now.
Oh yeah, Roof Chris at that. I wonder Roof Chris or somewhere he's supposed to be taking us.
Yeah.
He got all them pretty new blue houses he's showing off on social media.
I know, right? We definitely will be taking you up on that. Just back to collaboration, man.
Okay.
There is a, and I'm not gonna say no names. I'm gonna let you do that part.
Okay.
There's a certain situation that's happening where an individual has brought a bunch of people together to invest in a certain situation, and has been getting nothing but flack about it. Nothing but flack about it. And people have been attacking from left and right, and it's understood that their major effort, I was gonna say, I wasn't gonna even put a gender on it, but the person's major effort is to bring our people together. And I think overwhelmingly, in many ways, that has been accomplished. What do you say to that situation? And I'll let you be specific about the things that you're going to be specific about. What do you say to that situation where that person is being attacked on all different levels with even trying to accomplish something to help us come together?
No comment. But let me say this though. Okay. I think that we have to be patient as a people because we meet challenges like no other. And so I'm going to deflect a little bit off that situation, but I'm going to come back to it. It's like people talk about Obama, and sometimes you're in a position where you can only please, and we're always in a position. We're not going to please everybody, but sometimes your decisions don't come out like your intentions wanted them to come out. The outcome is not what you intended. And so you just have to work through that, man, and be strong enough to hold on and continue with what the vision that God gave you. If this is your God-given vision and you put it inside of you, guess what? It's going to be a ton of stuff that happen. People that don't like you, people that say, I told you so, people that say, I knew it wasn't going to work. Well, if you knew it wasn't going to work and I told you so, why did you get involved? You know what I mean? And so speaking on my brother, Jay Morrison, I know where we at, and I'm gonna speak on it because I'm grown as hell. You know what I mean? Like I don't bite my tongue. Could Jay have done something differently? Probably. But here's the thing about Jay. Jay is very well spoken, very outspoken. He did something that nobody else had the balls to do, and he got to live with whatever decisions he made. But I'm gonna tell you this, because of his drive and his love for his people, and I don't agree with everything he says and does, but I don't have to. He grown and I'm grown. We individual people. We got different DNA, different fingerprints. Right. He's going to be okay. I don't like to see people attack him as opposed to attacking him. Go help him because he's on a different kind of pressure. Could he have went out day one and just spent the money on something and did something? Yeah, he could have. And then took the money and nobody could have done nothing about it. Right. Has he bought some things that I think will be a benefit long term? Yes. Do I agree with the office space? I don't know. That's not my business because he got to manage it. But he's bought apartment buildings. He's done some hard money loans. He got some. So I think the pressure that he's under, man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Raising what he raised has been phenomenal. There's another guy, Chris Senegal, down in Houston that has done a crowdfunding, buy the block. He bought the properties. He owned a whole block in Houston, 18 houses and a commercial space. He did it a little bit different than Jay, but same concept. And you can invest with him as little as $250. I think Jay is as little as $500. But they're under something different, man. And the only way you get to another level is you got to take a bigger risk. And Jay took a big risk and put himself out there. And Jay will be all right, though, man. He's one of our brothers, man. Like I love him like a brother. You know what I mean? Do I agree with what he say all the time? No.
Mm-hmm.
But hell, I got my blood brothers. I don't agree with 90% of the stuff they say, but they still my brothers.
Right.
So, Glenn, I'll say this to you.
Yeah.
And, if I got to support him, and if I got something to say, I'll pick up the telephone and call him. You know what I mean? If y'all know me, y'all know I'm going to pick up the phone and call you. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like anything else. I'm going to ride with you. I got brothers and cousins that we always say, listen, man, if you going to do something crazy, I'm all the way, all along while we going to do something crazy. I'm gonna be in the car like, man, you wrong for this, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get in that car with you because we got to ride together. And I
Right.
know, at some point you jump out that car. Do you criticize the person, publicly, without lending a hand? Because sometimes, Glenn, we just need a hand. Sometimes we so tired.
Talk.
Sometimes, man, as the leaders, sometimes, man, we got so many things we working on, not so many, but it's so many pressures on us that
Mm-hmm.
we miss that detail. And
Right.
so if you are serious and about what you're saying, you come in and say, listen, I don't mean to be offensive, but I want you to do it. Try it this way. Look at it this way. Let me show you why you should look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you decide to say, you know what, I ain't gonna do it that way, I'm gonna do it on my own, then I gotta say, all right, well, I did my job. Then if
Yeah.
you screw up, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what he's doing is amazing though, man. Them guys doing some amazing stuff. We have some amazing people that we have access to,
Mm-hmm.
some amazing opportunities. Man, we laugh and joke, man, but even with the Tulsa Fund with Jay, I commend Jay, man. I respect the hell out of him because think about what he did. How many other people gonna do that? We got a bunch of ballers around here.
Right.
And I just want to see it because my kids. So I don't do stocks at all, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Never have really, right? But
Mm-hmm.
my kids do, and so my kids on mutual funds. They got money invested in Tulsa. They got they're gonna put some money into buy the block down there with Chris. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it gives them some exposure and gives them an opportunity to learn what business look like. I'm not saying they're gonna throw all their money into it because I'm not gonna let them do that. But I believe in these movements. We got to support them because we always talk about supporting each other,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And so that was one way that if you believe in, we invest in stocks and we don't know the owner and that owner doesn't have much control. If Apple tomorrow went belly up, what we gonna say? We're not gonna say, "I told you so." We're not
Right.
gonna say, we're not gonna do none of that. And so that's why you have to give Jay time.
Mm-hmm.
He's built an amazing team. He's had a lot of turnover because of, the syndrome that we call the black folk syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And when people don't understand what the black folk syndrome is, I'm gonna give y'all a quick example, and then I know me and Glenn gotta slow it down, get ready to roll. But black
Mm-hmm.
folk syndrome is this, y'all. We go into a soul food restaurant and it take 30 minutes to get our food. Good food, great food.
Wow.
Man, I ain't coming here no more. They too slow.
Uh-huh.
But we go stand in the line at Cheesecake
Mm.
for an hour and a half and the food all right. And we call all our friends and be like, hey man, y'all gonna meet me at Cheesecake next Sunday? But it
Right.
took me an hour and a half to get in there. Then it took me another 30 minutes. But I went in the little black restaurant. Yeah, it got wood tables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they old
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
$1 and getting you free refills. So the black syndrome is, unfortunately, is because we see that we feel like the value of the cheesecake is more and it damn near tastes better
Mm-hmm.
because I paid more for it, not because it really didn't taste better. And so until we get out of that, man, because I see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. Like I see it. It disgusts me. I see people say, man, I ain't going back there because it took too long to get my food.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really never tell you this, man. I ain't never walked into Rays on the River on Sunday for Sunday brunch and walked in and walked out.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never did it before. I ain't never been to Cheesecake on Friday afternoon and got some fresh cooked food. It take a minute to cook collard greens and turnip greens, right?
Oh
And we
yeah.
don't want the ones
Oh
from
yeah.
yesterday.
Right.
So until we get out of that part of it, Glenn, we continue to be where we are. You know what I mean? That's why I support Jay because Jay pulled a lot of people together, and I in my heart I pray for him, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand that he's going to be okay. He'll be okay, and we got to keep supporting them. I am not giving up no more money,
Right.
but because I'm not in control of that. That's like me investing into a REIT. I'm not going to invest into a REIT for somebody to do what I do. And I don't think nobody's better at doing what I do than me. So, that's the only part of it. But other than that, man, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I'm not going to agree with everything he say and do, but he my brother, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
And if he ever need a conversation, man, he knows, like, we talk. We had them same conversation that, like when we talk, when I want to go and jump off the building on top of somebody, not jump off the building, but jump off the building on top of somebody.
Right.
I know sometimes I call Tim and Will,
right.
and we had them prayers. I know they we had them conversations. So we all need that. We all need somebody around us that's going to tell us that. I think that was probably something that Jay have experienced. A lot of younger folks around him, and so, but he is a visionary, so he'll get there, man.
Real stuff, man. Real stuff. Listen, thank you for opening it up, man. And I know if anybody that can answer that question, it would definitely be you. And I was not being too specific, but I think it needs to be understood, man, that, and I'm glad you laid it all out, that in a situation like that, like I didn't pay much attention to the whole deal at first, and I'm like, okay, I'll get into it or I won't, I'm not, it's not going to take anything away from me. It's not going to add too much to me, in the beginning. But what I look at now, man, is, like you said, that syndrome, like there's people that would go in because Grant Cardone has done this, they'll go and put their money in his thing and don't even think about it. And he'll get online and tell you, he'll get online and tell you he going bankrupt, and then come back and tell you he was just playing. Let Jay like that.
Oh man, they will hang Jay. Now let me see. No, and so that is the problem. That is a major problem. But now let me say this though. So Jay's minimum investment was $500.
Right.
Grant Cardone could sell you an ebook for $500 and they wouldn't complain
all day long.
and you ain't getting nothing. You're not getting nothing out of it. You can come to Dealmaker and get what he's selling online. Yeah, he's had a lot of success. So he's somebody I want to learn from. But would I give Grant Cardone $10,000 to go to a show? No, I'm gonna tell you no. I wouldn't. He better come sit down next to me and talk to me, and we're gonna have a real meeting. For $10,000 to sit in a seat, not gonna happen. I'm not just saying I'm too good for that, but I do believe that there's other people that I can get more access to get me to that level. I'm not just going to pay that to say I win. See, some people, so 2 years ago, they did the 10X in Miami. And I had one of my buddies went. And when he came back,
to go and didn't even go.
Yeah, he went. And when he came back, he was here, man. We went and met. We must have been at dang on, man, I'm gonna tell you what it was. In the West End. Oh, we met at what is it? 285, not 285, the place right there behind Krispy Kreme. And he had just gotten back. And the dude was like, hey man, I need to borrow some money. And I was like, for what? And he was like, well, man, I need to. And I was like, listen, brother, you just came from Miami. And I don't have it to give to you, but if you needed it and you could get my last dime, I promise you, because we're going to get some more tomorrow. But you've never been to Flipology, and you honored them more than you honor us, but you're not calling them to get the money. And so, unfortunately, man, I felt some kind of way because not only have you not, listen, I mean, you ain't got to come to Flipology, but at least support us, right? But you support somebody else that you didn't get much out of. And so I don't ever tell people not to pay the money. People call me all the time, like, man, should I do what's the big one? Dan Merrill, Fortune Builders, right? I always tell people, listen, if you got it, go do it. If you calling me to ask me my opinion, I want you to go do it, because what I understand about Fortune Builders, it's an amazing network. Grant Cardone got an amazing network. If you're inside of the network, with Fortune Builders, I know a ton of people that have been very successful that have come out of it. The network is amazing. So I'm not going to say, nah, man, don't do Dan Merrill. Come do mine. Nah, if we cool, go do Than Merrill, go get all the relationships, bring the relationships back over here, and then we gonna all be okay.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna like that's who I am, Glenn. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I want
indeed.
you to go out and bring it in because I am truly not the person that really wants. Like I could probably stay in the house, man, 6 days a week. I mean, like what I'm saying, without networking, and I would be okay. Just that's what I do, Glenn. By 9 o'clock, I'm at home. 8 o'clock, I'm at home. Like, and so that's just who I am, man. But going back to that, man, we got to do better. I think that's take a long time, man. I forgot what they call that mentality, but it's the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah, slave mentality, Willie Lynch syndrome, and at some point, man, we got to keep praying and keep pushing. I think we'll be okay, but it ain't gonna happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. How we got where we are as a people is not gonna happen overnight. How we change it, and now what night is it gonna change? I don't know, but it ain't gonna be overnight. And it did not start.
It might be at night, but it ain't gonna be overnight, huh?
No. Listen. Here's the thing, Glenn, and then we got you got me on my Black Power stuff. Here's the thing. I get in trouble for saying this, and I'm gonna say it because I say it and I mean it. Slavery wasn't the issue. It hasn't been the issue. It's something bigger than that, and there's people that talk about it because we became slaves for some reason, and you took. And was it that we tricked ourselves? We were tricked or overpowered when we were in what people would call our motherland 500 years ago. How did that happen? So something was wrong then before slavery, because you can't just put me in slavery if something ain't wrong.
Right.
And so my train of thought is, and that's some educated people, man, but I still don't understand that, Glenn. And it's something that I know it didn't happen because of slavery. It was a part that contributed to slavery, but it's something else there. And that something I think is more spiritual, something in spiritual, something in it's something else. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna keep praying on it, and we're gonna keep fighting against it. We're gonna keep bettering the folks that we got to better, and hopefully, I don't care what nationality you're, hopefully I can make your life better, and especially my people. I want to see another generation, the generations or two behind us, have a better opportunity, or not even have a better opportunity, but take advantage of the opportunities that are here and take it another level and continue to grow, man. That's the only thing I can think about, man. Like that's when I leave here, man, I want to leave a mark on the world, man, where we've helped people and we know we've helped. Not that we got to display it, but we know that we've done our job and left it all on the table. And that's, Glenn, that's what I want. That's the only reason we keep doing what we're doing. Because other than that, shoot, man, we can go buy and sell some houses and never talk to people.
Right. Real stuff, man. Real stuff. Just to that whole situation about that, man. My only take on that is that there are people that are vying for his downfall, not realizing, in my opinion, that if he fails, that's a mark for all of us. Because it'll be said that if one person couldn't do it or a collective of people couldn't do it, nobody else can do it, and nobody will trust each other again. So my prayer is that everything continues to go well, whether I'm involved or not. I pray that everything continues to go well, and that's for any of us, man. I pray that there's more of us that can continue to have levels of success, and that gives us more of a, I guess, even amongst ourselves, even more level of equality that we can say, Than Merrill did it, Ramon Tookes can do it. You see what I mean? And not to say that, only Than Merrill can do it and Ramon Tookes may or may not be able to do it. You know what I mean? So I just want us to help each other change the perspective about one another, to know that if that dude that puts his pants on one leg at a time, like the rest of us can do it, we can do it as well. You know what I mean? So, hey, listen, brother, thank you. I had a ton of questions, man. I was going to ask you about a whole bunch of stuff about flipping houses and ARVs and MAOs and
all y'all gotta do, you know what, Glenn?
LOL.
Everybody just show up at Deal Makers on Thursday, and we'll finish our conversation.
We'll do that. But listen, this has been for me. You know, oh yeah, we still got an audience. So audience, thank y'all for sticking with us. But for me, this has been great for me. This has been great for me. And I thank you, man, for taking this time. Like I said, it's been a couple hours now, but hey, listen, I think we can have this conversation, bro, for another couple hours.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day and you know, just sharing what you do and sharing what you have to offer. And you know, believe me, this information is gonna get shared 1,000 times if nobody else shared it. I'm gonna tell y'all to share it. I'm gonna tell y'all to like it. I'm gonna tell y'all to do all that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna tell you to subscribe. But even if you don't, it's gonna show up in your inbox or your email or somewhere anyway. So, but listen, thanks again, man. I definitely appreciate this. You know,
thank you, man. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody that was watching. Thank y'all. Have a good day.
Thank y'all for showing up. Ramon, thanks again. Listen, we definitely got to do this again. You know, this has been a 2-hour show. The show is supposed to be an hour, but we're gonna do a part 2 to this. You know, even if it's 2 hours.
Let's go. You know, we're gonna do it over lunch with Yancey.
Right. Oh yeah. Listen, definitely. The world knows, Yancey, now that you said that you're taking us to lunch, and we get to choose.
Can we ride in that little car he be showing off on? What?
Well, I don't know, bro. I think that's a 2-seater. I'll ride on the hood though. I'll ride on the hood.
Listen, Glenn, you showing you don't know no better. That is not a hood. That's the trunk up there.
That's a truck, right?
God, Robert, he can't ride. Yes, he can't ride with me and you, man. He calling the hood the trunk. Listen, man. Again, thank you, brother. I love you, man. And make sure you have a great day, man. All right,
man. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day. Listen, this has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life situations, where we bring you real life real estate solutions. Have a great day.
All right, man. You too.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.